The world is screaming. Massive volcanic eruptions tear through the earth as rescue helicopters swarm the skies like desperate insects. Mount Fuji has erupted, and underwater earthquakes have already claimed tens of thousands of lives. But for most people, this is just a natural disaster. They have no idea that this is actually the beginning of the end. Inside a crowded evacuation bus, panic is thick in the air. A young man scrolls through his phone, cursing under his breath. He shouts that only a few days ago, the earthquake and volcano killed thousands, and now their own city is being evacuated. His female companion sighs, gripped by worry. She explains that they left in such a hurry she didn't grab a single thing, hoping they can buy supplies once they hit Jiangnan City. But a passenger nearby scoffs with a mix of anger and disbelief. He asks if she's seen the news. The Walmart and alley warehouses in Jiangnan have already been completely stripped bare. Another man chimes in, his voice shaking with shock. He claims that's old news. Dongming Lake has dried up overnight, and the Da Rundong warehouse was emptied too. The total value of the missing supplies is easily in the hundreds of billions. Suddenly, a calm, cold voice cuts through the chatter. No, it should be in the tens of trillions. All eyes turn to our protagonist. His gaze is piercing as he stares out the window. The loss of supplies and these disasters are just the surface, he declares. Open your eyes and see. The end of the world is coming. The passengers stare at him like he's lost his mind. One guy laughs it off, claiming that if it's the apocalypse, he's looking forward to it, because that's when all living beings are finally equal. Our hero doesn't laugh. He remembers the cold, the hunger, and the blood. Equal, he mutters. Even at the end of the world, there is no day of equality for all living beings. I know, because I've personally experienced it. In his past life, he was just an ordinary delivery man when the apocalypse descended. Due to an abnormal release of solar energy, the atmosphere ignited, the crust shifted, and monsters hidden underground crawled to the surface to feast. In that world of extreme scarcity, people would give up everything for a single packet of instant noodles. But fate gave him a second chance. He has been reborn 1 month before the descent of the apocalypse. As the bus slows, a girl tries to lean into him, her voice suddenly sweet and scared, hoping he can help her. He doesn't even give her a second glance. He stands up and heads for the door, telling her he has much more important things to do. He steps off the bus and looks at a massive supermarket warehouse. In the apocalypse, supplies are the only true currency. In his last life, he spent every second searching for food. This time, he's going to be prepared. His supervisor spots him and barks that being 21 seconds late means he loses half a day's pay. The hero ignores the petty threat. He remembers this boss, a man who ran away with the company funds while the world burned. These supplies are simply his compensation. He enters the warehouse and activates his secret weapon, spatial ability. A massive, invisible void opens up. A cubic space 10,000 meters in every direction where he can store anything at will. Time inside the space is frozen, meaning food remains fresh forever. With a simple thought, he begins his $0 shopping spree. He has already drained 2 freshwater lakes and plundered entire cities destined for destruction. Thousands of crates of food, water, and medicine vanish into his dimension in an instant. He checks his system window, a smirk finally playing on his lips. After collecting so many supplies, he can finally breathe a sigh of relief. He won't have to eat dirt to survive this time. Moments later, the supervisor walks in with 2 workers to move some stock. They stop dead in their tracks. The massive warehouse, previously overflowing with goods, is now a hollow, echoing shell. Not a single box remains. The supervisor turns red, his voice furious. "Hey, where did everything from here go? I'm asking you." Our hero just looks at him, leaning casually against a pillar, with a mocking grin. The supervisor's face contorted with rage as he barked orders to his men. "You bastard! How did you even do this? Catch him, now!" The workers lunged, but the hero didn't flinch. Instead, he waved his hand, tearing a circular teleportation portal right out of the air. Before they could lay a finger on him, he stepped through the shimmering rift and vanished. The workers were left grasping at thin air, staring in shock at the empty space where he had stood just seconds ago. Outside the facility, a second portal opened, and the hero landed gracefully on his feet. This was his second awakened power, Space Jump. It allowed him to blink through dimensions within a 3-meter range, a skill that in his past life meant the difference between finding food in a locked ruin or being torn apart by mutant beasts. With the warehouse emptied and his zero-cost shopping complete, his journey had truly begun. A notification chimed on his phone, a government warning about the current disasters. He looked at the screen with a grim expression. The officials were desperate to prevent a panic, but he knew the truth. The world they knew was already dead. Suddenly, his phone buzzed again. It was a call from Jang, and the moment he answered, her shrill voice filled his ear. "Suchen, how dare you disappear on me? I heard you put the house up for sale. Are you really that naive? Do you think any woman would stay with you without a home?" In her room, Jang wasn't alone. She was lounging with another man, her eyes full of greed. "Where is your responsibility as a man?" she continued. "I may not care about the house, but I'm still a woman. If you don't give it to me as a gift, how can I feel secure?" Su Chen's voice was cold as he asked, "Anything else?" Infuriated by his lack of emotion, she screamed, "What kind of attitude is that? I'll give you one last chance. Come back right now and transfer the ownership to me. Or don't even think about marrying me." "I'm on my way back to Shangdu," Su Chen replied flatly before hanging up. "We'll talk then." As he walked, his mind drifted back to his previous life. He had spent 5 years in the apocalypse, protecting Jiang Shaoqian. He had scavenged through hell to keep her fed, and even managed to get her into a safe zone. If it weren't for him, she would have starved in the first week. But his reward for that loyalty was a knife in the back. He remembered the face of Wang Haoyu, the thug who had beaten him, and mocked him for coming back empty-handed. He remembered his final moments, lying on the cold ground, watching his girlfriend flirt with his killer. "He's useless now," Wang had sneered, while Jiang simply laughed, calling Su Chen incompetent even as he bled out. Back in the present, Su Chen's eyes burned with a dark fire. "I was a fool to trust people like you," he whispered, clenching his fist. "But this time, Wang Haoyu, Jiang Shaoqian, I'm going to make you pay. You won't die easily. The pain I tasted, I want you to experience it 100, 1,000 times over." But revenge required resources. While his spatial storage was full of stolen goods, there were still things that could only be bought with hard currency. He dialed a real estate manager named Liu. "Manager Liu, I'll accept the half-price offer on the house. But I want the payment in cash, and I want it right now." When he arrived at the dream real estate building, Jiang and Wang were already waiting for him, armed with a baseball bat and a look of pure entitlement. "Su Chen," Jiang snapped, "do you have any idea how long I've been waiting?" Su Chen didn't even look at her. "Move aside," he said, his voice like ice. Wang Haoyu stepped forward, swinging the bat threateningly. "Who gave you permission to sell our house? If you dare go through with this, I'll make sure you don't see the sun tomorrow." In a flash of movement too fast for the human eye, Su Chen's hand shot out. He seized Wang by the throat, lifting the bigger man off his feet before slamming him violently into the floor. As Wang gasped for air, Su Chen looked down at them both with a terrifying smile. From now on, he would handle his life and his enemies exactly how he wanted.